Peace, peace. Ali, coming back at you on behalf of SAliMyers.com. In this video, I want to share with you my first ET encounter. And I think I'm going to call this my first ET encounter and something about Moldavite, because I know that played a big part in it. But first, before I begin, I don't expect you to believe anything that I say in this video. The reason I'm making this video is I think it's important that people that have been a contactee, that we publicly release things and let the world know that we're not crazy, you're not crazy, and especially melanated people, people that look like me. Whenever you study or look up anything dealing with extraterrestrials, you're not going to get really a perspective from people that are melanated. You know, it's not very popular or whatever. So I expect there will be a lot of ridicule, a lot of judgment, a lot of disbelief, a lot of dislikes, all that good stuff, which I'm comfortable with. But I believe that anybody that really knows me know that I wouldn't be up here just making up something. I'm not an attention seeker like that, just to be making up something. So I just want to preface it with that. So if this information is not for you, I suggest you don't even watch it, you know. But if you're interested in hearing someone's first-hand encounter from someone you trust, then you continue to listen. Now, this happened, I want to say, about 5 or 6 years ago, my first encounter with this particular ET. Now, I don't recall the exact day or the year or whatever, but I think it was about 5 or 6 years ago. May even have been longer or whatever. But at the time, I was laying down and I was meditating, and I used to like to put a piece of Moldavite on my third eye. If you're not familiar with Moldavite, that's probably the best stone, best crystal that you can get, in my humble opinion. And it's going to cost you too. If you're interested in Moldavite, we have it at l9shop.com. But the Moldavite that I had was very small. It was probably like that big, mad small. But I lay down and I put the Moldavite on my third eye. Now, I was guided during this meditation to do a visualization that I've done a few times, where it's an invite, so to speak, to communicate or meet different hyperdimensional or interdimensional beings, ETs, gods, ancestors, etc., etc. But there's a particular visualization that I used to do that I've done a few times but never had any success doing it. But this particular time I was meditating with the Moldavite on my third eye, and I was guided to do this visualization in order to invite a different being. So I went through the routine, and when I opened the door, a being walked in. Now, it's one thing to visualize and you're kind of projecting, but it's another thing when your visualization takes a mind of its own, so to speak, and you're not mentally projecting, you're just receiving what is already there. So this was an auto thing. This wasn't me imagining or me just making up something. So I had to state that because it's very tricky, especially when you start to visualize and start to receive visions. That's why visualization and visions are closely related, because you can visualize where you're projecting, or you can have a vision where that projection is being received. If you've never done it, then it's hard to explain it or whatever. But when the door opened and the being came in, the being sat down, and he told me that he was part of an extraterrestrial group, and I will state the name of the group because you're going to look up information about it after I state it, but I promise you, the being that I seen, it looked nothing like the images on Google. But the being said that he represented what's called the Ashtar, A-S-H-T-A-R. And I'm also going to preface it by saying you're going to get a lot of information when you look it up. It's up for you to discern what you believe or don't believe. Me personally, I don't recommend that you buy into anyone's story, especially if you don't know the person who's giving you their channel and telling you what they've channeled. So I don't personally believe or listen to anyone's channel except my own, but that's your choice. So the being said he was connected to a group called Ashtar, and he was in charge of arts and communication. And that's all was stated. That's all was said during that transmission. So I immediately came out of meditation dumbfounded, baffled. And I went straight to Google because I never heard of the ash chart before. Never seen anything about the ash chart. Never read anything. Nothing dealing with the ash chart whatsoever. Pardon me. So when I looked up Google, I started seeing these different images. And the images that people have of the ash chart, they look like a regular European man. And I promise you, during my encounter, the being looked nothing like a European and looked nothing like a man. The best way I could describe the being, the way he projected himself was, it looked kind of like the swamp monster. Didn't even look like an ET. But if you study ETs, which I have before this encounter, you know they can, or after this encounter, you know ETs, one of the theories is they can shapeshift. Now, I'm not saying that the other people on the internet haven't had an experience with the ash chart, but I can state conclusively from my own experience that the being did not look like anything on Google Images. I haven't seen any picture or image that looked closely related to the being that I seen. Now, what happened after that first encounter was, now I don't meditate laying down. I do a particular scrying technique that I was guided to do by the direction of Master Dr. Mitchell Gibson. And what I noticed, I want to say probably about, it was probably over a year where this being came to me again. And it was when I was doing my scrying. Now, once again, this may sound very far-fetched, but I know there's other people that are watching this, that are experiencing this. That's why it's on my heart to release this information. Now, after the being contacted me again, I was able to get a name, which is very important, and I was also able to get some more information. Now, I want to insert something else dealing with my relationship with the particular beings that we call Ashtar. When I had my consultation with Master Gibson, one of the questions I stated was I had an encounter with some extraterrestrials, and I wanted his just gnosis, his feedback on that. His exact words were, you've been working with this group of beings for a long time, and they work with individuals who are advancing their consciousness. I can honestly say at the time, when I had my first encounter, I was doing a lot of meditating, a lot of spiritual work, and my consciousness was expanding. So I think that's the reason why I was able to have that initial contact. But to fast forward, like I said, a year later, I want to say about a year or year and a half later, I had another encounter with this being, and he gave me his name. And I can state to this day, I'm still in contact with this particular being. The way he works with me is I get information pertinent and relative to my personal path. Now, I haven't went to this being getting world events and stuff like that. Me personally, I don't think it works that way. You know, who's going to win the election or who's going to win a Super Bowl, you know. I don't think it works that way. But I can honestly say from my personal experience, and I can only speak for myself, things relative to my path and the work that I came here to do, this asset, the access to this particular being has been priceless as far as direction and information regarding my path. And I wanted to put this video out to let you know that if you've had an encounter, definitely pay attention to your dreams, and I recommend that you go deeper into your meditation. Now, in order to get recontact with a being that you made contact with before, all you have to do is visualize as best as you can the image of that particular being. If you have a name, that's even better. But visualize as hard as you can, and then just be open to receive any messages. Do this during meditation, and when you come out, make sure you have a pen and pad so you can write down what you get. Pose questions, be open for answers. But I promise you, I know there's a lot of people that are in contact, not only with the particular beings that I'm in contact with, but just extraterrestrials, period. And if you feel safe, if you feel comfortable, I will personally, if I were you, I would give yourself the green light to deepen that relationship. Because When you hear about information with ETs, you hear about abductions, you hear about anal probes and all these people having all these quote unquote negative experiences, I think personally that information is flooded the internet on purpose to deter people from working with these higher forms of intelligences. So if you feel comfortable, you feel safe, if it's a feeling in your heart saying this is right for you, I would suggest that you give yourself permission to deepen a relationship with whatever beings that you're connected with. So this has been Ali. This is my testimonial. This is my share. My name is Ali. Yes, I am a contactee. I don't believe I'm the only person, especially melanated people, that are contactees. So if you have been in contact, you had visions or dreams, or have you seen flying saucers, different light formations in the light, like I've seen all these things, you know, and if you have, you know, message me, let me know, leave a comment, let the world know that, you know, that you've had an experience and you're comfortable still in the world that you have. If you want to find out more information about myself and what we do, be sure to visit my website, salymyers.com. Until next time, peace.